Yes, yes. What we
Here
saying,
we go,
buddy?
guys. What am I saying? What are you saying, brother? You're in.
Bro. Do you know what? This little catch-up's been a long time overdue, mate. I've just been getting pulled from pillar to post, to be honest.
Mate, I can't wait to hear it. But
We're
everybody, of
finally
course,
here.
welcome to the VIP Vegas podcast. A completely different setup to our usual in the studio one, but of course, me, Brunty Vegas, and of course,
boy Stephen James. Let's go.
Let's go. So, should we start off with news of the week, bro, and then you can tuck into
Let's go
everything
for
you've
it,
been
mate.
up to?
Just fire away. Let's touch on what's been happening that side. Obviously, I've had my eyes and ears to the ground or whatever over here with groups and stuff like that, which is, I've been back for 16 days now, and I'm surprisingly feeling quite fresh. I don't know how, but I'm keeping it moving, son.
You're looking fresh. It's good.
Absolute carnage. But let's dive into the news of the week, and then I can talk about what's been happening over here.
Sounds good, brother. So the first one we've got off is that the Waldorf Astoria's restaurants opened up. You got Hard Shake and Peacock Valley. It opened literally about a month ago, but it's a very classy place. They've got one that's more of like a brunch afternoon tea sort of vibe, and then another one's at like a very classy suits Harvey Specter sort of New York rooftop bar vibe. So I'm looking forward to going up there, and like you say, you and me can maybe book a table and have a couple of
mate. I want to check that out because obviously, like I said on a previous podcast, like when I first started coming to Vegas, or the first ever trip, I actually stayed. It was the Mandarin Oriental then, but now it's obviously the Waldorf Astoria. And when they took it over, they didn't really do much of a revamp. So it has needed, a little bit of a freshen up. So I'm glad they've done that now. But yeah, we'll have to go and check it out.
100%, brother. The next part I wanted to move on to is I love me MGM. The MGM Rewards is now doing like a rollover for their tier credits.
Yeah.
So anything that you've incurred, shall I say, this year, you can now basically roll over to 2027.
Yeah.
So it's 2025 now. You could hold those points to 2027. So
yeah,
for you and me that are out there,
obviously, some people don't come out every year, and then they accumulate a lot of points, and by the time they do come back, all of those points they've accumulated have been wiped. So I think that's a good move from MGM, really, because then it's sort of like, if people can't come back the following year, that gives them an incentive to come back the year after. So
exactly, bro. So that'll be really cool. Speaking of MGM, I know that you and me have already touched on this off camera, but they're basically scrapping a lot of their concierges, mate. Like only a select few, like Cosmo.
That's good news for us, baby.
This is it. So we're going to be.
Just come to us now. It's easy. Don't worry.
This is it. We'll be your new point of contact. Yeah. Nice little refill.
Big shout out to Fiji as well, by the way.
Indeed, yes.
Hydrated the whole time we've been here, man. I think
Fiji just speaks Vegas.
Game changer for me. So Fiji, if you're watching, send us some stuff, yeah.
Indeed, a little bit of a rehydrate. We'll get the Fiji on the pod. I've just got a little bit of a lemonade in my Cosmo glass. I don't know if anybody can see that.
Lemonade. I hope you've got some alcohol in there, boy. Give me a few days, brother. You've got to build up a tolerance before you get here, son.
I do. I went out with my dad the other day.
Okay.
With my missus, and we were chatting to the girls behind the bar, and they were like, "You're not drinking like X, Y, this, that, and the other." And I'm like, "No, I have to switch up my drinks. Like, I need to train." I said, "I'm training. I'm on like the big pints." Do you know what I mean?
I think my training days are done, bro. I swear. I reckon if you cut me now, I'd probably bleed fucking Hennessy. Nah, I tell you what, it has definitely worked though, because a lot of clients have been ordering bottles of Hennessy since they've been out here. Because they see me doing the shots at 40,000 feet. They see the podcast where we've been drinking, different mixers and stuff like that. So,
nice.
Yeah, mate, we've definitely started a little trend over here.
There you go. So
people love it.
We can send more bottles our way. We can keep plugging you in, and we'll have a measurement when I'm out there. But the next one I wanted to move on to is, Bellagio actually plans to have a boat dock station for their new seafood restaurant.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's been rumours that maybe you could have like a boat. So imagine you had a boat ride. There's like Bellagio fountain and all that, and as soon as you dock up, you're at a seafood restaurant at Bellagio. So I don't know when that's happening.
Class. I'll definitely get involved in that.
And then lastly, to wrap up on the news of the week, this is a cool one. Omnia.
News of the week.
News of the week.
I tell you what, so many people come up to me about the podcast as well, by the way, bro. So I think we're obviously doing it with something right. I'm getting a lot of messages come through on the DMs and like through email saying they want to work with us. You know, they want to sponsor the pod. They want to come and host and help us on the strip and stuff. So we're making some noise, bro. We're making some noise.
Like I say, it's because obviously we have been speaking nearly every day, but it's hard to try and get all the business talk in when obviously we're different time zones. So that's really cool that you've shared that on the pod today, that people are liking it and they're reaching out.
Yeah, man, I'm getting a lot of good feedback. There's a lot of people saying like keep it going and this and the other. We're loving this. Some people point out particular episodes that they grew to and thought they were really good. Got a lot of information from it. So yeah, bro, I was quite happy because sometimes you don't always, especially when we're in England and stuff, you don't necessarily get the feedback. Whilst I've been out here, I've been getting a lot of feedback, not just from, clients, but also hosts and industry people that want to jump on. So, yeah, boy.
Love that. Nice. So Omnia is finally going to open a day club in Caesar's Palace.
Wow. That is a long time coming, mate. They've had like a little mini sort of pool party thing. I think that was only for invited guests, which is just by... to the side of the main pool. Forgot the name of it now, but I've had a few clients go in there and stuff and say it was all right, but it was quite small. Yeah. So yeah, it sounds good, man. If they're doing that, it's about time because they've only really got a nightlife thing, which is obviously Omnia. So yeah, if they can do the day and night, a lot of the Caesars guests don't really need to leave the site, do they?
No, exactly, bro. But that's everything from my side of what I know from all of my Vegas looking up on News of the Week and social media and watching YouTube. But you, my friend, you are out in Vegas. I mean, you tell me you've been out there, 16 days, did you say?
Yes, this is the 16th day. So I'm sort of like halfway through on this trip. In all honesty, I don't think I'd be able to make it past another 2 weeks, mate. Honestly, it's one thing after the other. But like I was saying to you earlier off camera, like the good thing about it is where I'm positioned now. Like I've got my own place on a resort just off the strip. So I get a bit of that home life. I've got a nice, real comfortable bed, man. Do you know what? I'll probably get a better night's sleep here than I do at home. Even though my bed at home, like really comfortable. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's so like, it just sort of drains your energy so much over here that by the time you hit the bed, it's like, So,
your body can just fully rest, whereas sometimes you're awake at night, lying at home, you're still on your phone, or your mind's racing with, I've got to do this tomorrow. Whereas there, your body's that tired that it's just like, nope, sleep.
And I think it's got the full blackout curtains. I might have to get some when I get home because at home I've just got like the blinds. Which are decent, but here I've got like the blinds and the blackout curtains, so it's like I could just stay asleep, bro. I could probably sleep for like 12-15 hours a night, I reckon. And to be honest, the other night I went out on Tuesday with Gary Caprani. Shout out to all the guys that own Club Rain, Restaurant Piranha in London, and Taboo, which is a big brand in London, and Mykonos, which they've got. So he just hit me up. He was like, Steve, what you doing? Like, I've got a night to spend before I meet up with the Stag and all them guys. Let's go out. So I met up with him at the Wynn. He had like a real big penthouse and stuff. We started drinking there. One thing led to another. I didn't get in till like 10:30 the next morning. So we were chatting about business ideas and this and that and the other. We went actually Omnia, so we had one of the main tables behind the decks. So it was just me and him really, and they were just bringing out bottles after bottles. So it was crazy. But yeah, so that night I ended up sleeping the whole of Wednesday. That was a complete write-off. I didn't so I got in at 10:30 and just slept basically till Thursday morning.
But this is why sleep and recovery is so important. And obviously I have a background of doing shift work, and I'll tell you what, them blackout curtains are a game changer.
Oh mate, they are. They're a little bit dangerous though, because you can end up sleeping for way long, especially if you don't set an alarm. I never set an alarm. So I just, you know, when I feel like I'm ready to wake up, I wake up, check my phone, and I've got like fucking 5,000 messages like from people. But yeah, it is what it is, mate. But yeah, you're right. I mean, recovery and stuff is so important out here. I mean, luckily with the resort, I've got like a really nice gym. I've got a sauna there, which we talked about on other pods, which is key. And then coupled with that, the electrolytes. I brought a big bag of Celtic sea salt out with me. You know, like all my usual stuff, like the turmeric, like the fish oil stuff, and I mean, mainly like the electrolytes, really. And yeah, just having that downtime is paramount in this game.
I've been loving seeing you doing your night swims as well. Like you've had a massive
got a
party
sick pool,
in there.
bro. The pool's open 24 hours, so I'm just like, when I finished in the sauna, I just go and do a few laps in there, and it just really helps out, man. Because you know, like when you're on the strip and it's just full on, it's nice to just come back to somewhere a little bit more tranquil and a bit more like serene. You know what I'm saying?
100%, bro. But speaking of all this sleep and recovery, why have you had to sleep and recover, Steve? Because it sounds like as soon as you'd landed, obviously from where we've been talking, it's been an absolute mad one. So your first weekend was Cinco de Mayo. Walk us through that.
Cinco de Mayo, obviously, I mean, I don't know if you saw, but I was in the Virgin Lounge before I got here. So I went through the whole menu for cocktails. And then, so that set a standard for me, So I was just trying all them. And then I jumped on the plane, and big shout out to sort of Virgin Atlantic. They, you know, they see about, you know, that I had the podcast equipment with me, the gimbal and stuff like that. Got talking, and they brought out a whole bottle of Hennessy for me. I was doing shots on the plane with a load of guys that had businesses, and they were, you know, lining up their itineraries and stuff as well. And then, checked into the W Hotel, penthouse, first day, first night, and that. Went out and just, you know, touch base with a lot of guys that I've not seen for a while since last year, basically. A lot of a lot of hosts that we deal with, and a lot of the different venues that we've got contracts with, and. Mate, it's just sort of hitting the ground running. Cinco de Mayo was crazy. We had, you know, big groups of guys coming over from all walks of the UK, Ireland, you know, Wales, fucking Scotland, fucking Essex, Manchester, like literally, bro. Probably like that weekend was so varied, like from the different clients we had, that it was class, because it just makes you think that it's not just like a Hertfordshire, Essex, London thing. We're literally all over UK. So hence VIP Vegas UK, right?
That's it, brother. I mean, I was just thinking to myself, obviously, with you drinking the Hennessy at the 40,000 feet, and I'd sent that story over to the brand manager, and he was like, "Bro, love that." Love that.
That was class. I'm glad you liked it, man, because it was fun. Because obviously I was a little bit tipsy on the plane and that, and then when they brought that over, it was just like, do you know what I mean? Perfect.
Yeah, just fit perfect. But me and my missus were looking at the penthouse when you'd done the video, and there was like a room with literally just like a chair and a puffy in it, and I was like, that penthouse must be so huge it has its own room for just a chair, a single chair.
I think what that bit there is like when you're getting, that's like it was more like a changing room. So like the chair was there, so you put your clothes on, it had a massive mirror, and then you just you had a full length mirror, so you could see like how you're looking before you go out. So it was a nice little touch, really. Bit of a random place to put it, because it was like right in the centre as you come through the door. But I mean, I definitely made use of it.
So shout out W Hotel for hooking you up.
Yeah, big shout out to the W Hotel and Lucian at the front door for looking after me, man. Because, you know, I mentioned about what we're doing in VIP Vegas and stuff like that, and she was like, "Wow!" And then I showed her the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook, and stuff. And the next thing you know, she's put me in like the best suite she could find me.
Love that. Love that.
It does pay to do stuff like that. I mean, obviously don't lie to them and just show them what it is and whatever. And sometimes you can give them a golden handshake and they hook you up. And then, so I stayed there for like 3 or 4 nights. And then now I'm here at a place called the Meridian, which is just off the strip. And it's like perfect, Brunty, man. I used to stay at the Jockey Club, which was right next to the Cosmo, just because of the position and like where it was on the strip, and it was connected to the Cosmo. But I'm so glad I found this place, because like, without throwing shade on the Jockey Club, like the pool's bigger here, the gym's bigger, the sauna's better. The facilities, and, you know, it's right next to the Sphere as well. Did you see me go to the Sphere?
I did, mate. Yeah, I was going to touch on that and say, you know, what was your
Stuff,
review,
man.
what were your thoughts?
Mind
A
blowing.
postcard from Earth, isn't it? Yeah, the show.
Yeah, that's the one. Obviously, they've got other shows going on, and like we talked about before in different podcasts, like they are bringing different artists and different acts there. But that postcards from Earth was mind blowing shit. Honestly, man, crazy.
I honestly do it, and I'll tell you what, it's so funny. We always mention the Sphere on a pod. I don't know how, but it's just one of the biggest, you know. So shout out to Orby.
Yeah, but, I was just chilling. You see, like the story I put up the other day, I was just chilling watching some TV, and because of how my balcony's positioned, the Orby was like eyeing me up through the bushes. You know what I mean?
Love
It's
that.
bad. Like, you can imagine if you was tripping out, like you've gone to a festival, you're like EDC or something, you come back and you fucking, like, there's this big globe looking at you through the thing, you just sort of trip out, wouldn't you?
I wanted to move on to your podcast that you did. Obviously, after, I think it was after Cinco de Mayo, to keep it relevant to podcasting. So, do you want to walk us through what that experience was like and which podcast you went on?
Yeah, so I just, we've had a contract with Machine Gun Vegas for quite a few years now. So we send a lot of clients there as like an add-on as part of the itinerary that we prepare for them. And yeah, they just like, Steve, we see you're doing a podcast. Would you mind jumping on ours? And so, yeah, I went down there. Tim Larkin was there. He's like a real heavy Vegas veteran. He's quite big in the security sort of, what is it? It's like close protection he does. He does like close protection for celebrities and whatever, and like film stars or whatever. And so he was interviewing me, just asking me questions about, you know, the journey and how things started, and, you know, how I've managed to stay in Vegas for 10 years when a lot of people come and go and whatever. And mate, yeah, it was brilliant. It was like the sort of first guest podcast I've done. I really enjoyed it though. And I don't think they've released the episodes yet or much of the trailers, because I think they've got a bit of a backlog. Yeah. But it was brilliant, mate. It was definitely you know, practice for moving forward, because obviously we've got other guests coming on our pod when you get out here. So I'm buzzing for that, mate.
Between being, obviously, because we're so used to being hosts, even though we're co-hosts, we have a little like mini interview with each other all the time. But how did it feel, instead of you hosting a guest, how did it feel like you being the guest and they had to do their setup and make sure you have all the questions that you wanted answered and promote what you wanted to promote? How did that feel?
Yeah, it was a different sort of vibe, but I enjoyed it. It was nice being on like the other side of the fence for a change. Do you get what I mean? Because obviously me and you sometimes get a little bit stressed and like we're just, you know, conscious of what the guest's feeling like and whatever. But it was nice to be in the position of the guest, just so I know what they're feeling like, if you get what I mean.
100%.
And yeah, it flowed really well, man. It wasn't like scripted. He didn't have like a written down list. He asked me questions off the cuff. I elaborated. And yeah, I think it was a really strong episode. The only thing I would say though, is obviously I went to see him and do that podcast off the back of like a 2 or 3 day bender. So like I was there trying to hold it together, yeah. But obviously I was a little bit hanging inside. I was like, you know, like you're not as fluent and sometimes, but yeah, I feel like I pulled it off, but we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fair play, bro. So so shout out to those guys, because it was cool for them to invite you on.
Shout out to Esther as well. She's the one that put it together. I've been dealing, you know, with Esther for years. Like she heads up a lot of the Machine Gun Vegas stuff, and looks after our clients, takes them into the VIP rooms or whatever, like free of charge. So yeah, man, we've got a good relationship with them. And like I said, like I spoke to Tim and obviously Genghis as well, the two guys that run it. They're going to jump on our pod when you come out. So it'll be nice to, you know, get a bit of background on them, because I know Genghis, he moved over from Vegas from South Africa, I think it was. He's had a bit of a journey. He was in nightlife to start off with, and the day life scene similar to what we do.
Yeah, and then travels.
Now he's doing other stuff. So yeah, it would be good to sit down with those guys. And yeah, bro, just trying to keep it moving, mate. Keep my head above water out here. Do you know what I'm saying?
So moving on, then I wanted to also ask on some of these. You've gone out and done so many different things. I mean, Palm Tree Beach Club opening.
Oh,
Walk me
bro,
through
yeah.
that. Crazy stories, bro.
Yeah, so that was one of the first parties I went to actually since I got back. And obviously I had quite a few groups over at Encore Beach Club on the same day. So I went over there, took care of them, make sure they were all set, got them like prime spots, upgrades and whatever else. And then about 3 o'clock I decided to go over to the opening. Fuck me, bro. You couldn't see the water, man. The pool, it was so many. And the thing is, the weather wasn't even that great. It was like raining.
Yeah,
it was cloudy. But it was absolutely rammed beyond belief, yeah? So I've gone in. I had some clients there as well. So I touched base with them, took some girls in with me, got them settled in the cabanas and a couple of the bungalows or whatever. And then I just made my way behind the decks, mate. Like, I solo missioned it because I knew people behind there. Shout out to Jason Strauss and Noah and those guys that run Towel Group. So I went behind there with them and we was having a few drinks and stuff. And that was a bit of a blur, mate, because on the way in, I got handed about 15 drinks tokens, yeah? And they were like, just go wild, Steve. And I was just like,
that's dangerous.
This is dangerous for me, yeah? Because I've already had a few Encore. So I've gone in and started spraying these drink tokens about, even though, the boys had tables and had drinks there. Like sometimes, you don't want to intrude on their drink. So yeah, I just used the tokens, man. But like we said on previous pods, bro, like the measures are next level. So so the barmate, we give him a drinks token, yeah, and he's like, I'll just have like a double Hennessy or whatever, or a gin, blah blah blah. They're just like that until it's like halfway, 3/4 of the way full. That was absolute carnage, bro. Like, I'm glad I went. Kygo was there. I got to speak to him for a while and got a decent photo with him and stuff. Put that on the social media because it's his thing, right? It's his brand, really.
It is. It was really cool to see him do that and have that opening, and it seems like it was a great success. There was lots of celebrities there. I recognise a lot of names that had gone. So
there was a lot of girls flown in, man, from like Miami, LA. There was a lot of girls there. They got flown in. I won't go into how much they got paid, but it's crazy amounts, bro.
Yeah.
Just to turn up and have a drink because it's good to have well-known like influencers and stuff at the party, especially for an opening.
Oh, for sure. So then you've gone through all that.
Mate. And then since then, it's just been, steering the ship, man. It's just been like, you know what I mean? Just keeping it like on track where we're going with all the, the programming and the timetables and, the arrivals and the limos and party buses. So,
Did we have like 15 something groups or something last weekend, was it?
Yeah, well, I think it was like 18 we done last weekend.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I remember, like I said, because we obviously speak off the pod and off camera, but it sounded mental so much to the point where we were trying to film this podcast, and I thought, we'll try and get it in nice and early in the week or whatever. And for anybody that doesn't know, today's like the Friday. Yeah. So after Steve's finished here, he's off on another mad one, looking after some more groups, and you're just going to see all the cool content.
Do, son. Luckily, though, I've because we've got the team out here, they've helped me out a lot today. Because obviously, like the last 2 weeks has just been carnage. So like, it's good to have that support out here as well. So they've got all of the groups pretty much set now. So when I go down there, all the groups are going to be cool, looked after. It's just a case of me going in there, greeting them, saying hello, making sure everything's all right, getting some footage. And then, jumping on the Hennessy with them, basically.
Love that, brother. I was going to say, it just sort of shows that your journey as well, from, like you said, you being less of a host now and you sort of overseeing it all. We've stepped up to that level now. Obviously, we will maybe have a drink with you here or there, but most of the time we've got our team out there now, and when we like to say, come in, make sure everybody's looked after, everything's all smooth. Because sometimes it doesn't always go as smoothly as we'd like it to. And that's not down to our fault or the client's fault, but just some things can go wrong. And if anything does go wrong, we're always here. We've got the WhatsApp number. We've got our team over there. We've got me and the team over here. So anything guys, obviously, if it does go a little bit astray, don't be afraid to reach out. We'll get it sorted for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few occasions like that. Like, I suppose one of the main one is to make sure if you're coming over and there's sort of like 5, 10, 15 of you in a group, at least 3 or 4 of you have got your phones with you and got our number, because
on charge. Have enough charge in your phone.
On charge, yeah, because batteries have died and stuff, and there's been, you know, some situations where, you know, I won't go into what venues and what waitresses, but sometimes, especially when there's, you know, issues with gratuity and how much should be paid and this and the other, we need to be at the end of the phone, or you need to be contactable. So, you know, it's not always, you know, a lot of groups get caught in the motion, which is understandable because you're out there, you're drinking, you know, whatever. But yeah, if at least 3, 4 of you within the group can have your phones on, just so you are contactable and you can contact us.
Yes.
Then that's always something to bear in mind before you leave. So charge your phones, man.
That's it, bro. Like I say,
but on the whole, bro, everything's been, touch wood, everything's been pretty good this year. Like it's all been like clockwork. You know, we've looked after so many different groups. You know, managed to get them decent upgrades, lowered the minimum spends for what they get online. You know, bypassed all the queues and stuff. And just, you know, get some real good footage and feedback. I mean, a lot of like the Google reviews are starting to fly in now, which is nice to see.
It's cool, yeah. It's really nice as well, and I appreciate everybody obviously giving us all that sort of feedback, everybody that said that we've really hooked them up and shouted us out on social media, to everyone who's left a Google review, to everyone that said that they're enjoying the podcast. I mean, it's amazing to hear all this positivity. But like I say, we want you guys to enjoy yourselves, enjoy your holiday, and enjoy your events. And like Steve says, we'll always upgrade when we can. We'll do, you know, walk-ins. We'll do maybe something up on the screen. It just depends. But yeah, we'll always try and go above and beyond.
We always try. But what I will say, I had a message today. Sent out to my long-term client, Jay Ashford. He messaged me literally about half an hour ago. He's like, Steve, we're going to Towel Beach tomorrow. Can you sort me out an upgrade? Yeah. And I said, bro, I'm going to try, but I feel like they've oversold it already by about 85 reservations, because this is potentially the busiest weekend of the whole year. EDC weekend is swamping Memorial Day weekend now. And like I was saying to you, Brunty, earlier, like I was just chilling by the pool last night. It was about 10 o'clock, and all you're seeing is helicopter after helicopter going into EDC. It is wild, bro. Literally every sort of like 60 seconds, so one will fly by, carrying 10 people or whatever in a helicopter, and then literally another minute or two later you see another helicopter, and literally all night and all day it's just been constant. So
didn't we put on our story?
I'm hoping that the pools and clubs ease up a little bit, because most people are going to be at the festival tomorrow. So but today and yesterday the pools and clubs are literally absolutely carnage.
Rammed. I was just going to say, like, we put it up on our story, it was about 400 and something thousand people or whatever are going to EDC this year. 425, correct me if I'm wrong. But
no,
I forgot to mention today
over 500,000 people coming into Vegas this weekend. I put it up on the story. They reckon it's something like 5.5, 550 odd thousand or something. I don't know.
You
have to correct.
I was going to say, we also forgot to mention it's Vegas's birthday today. 120 years.
Yeah, boy. That was actually yesterday, bro. 120 years.
120 years. I was going to say maybe because of the time difference, but that's mental, mate. Like I say, the EDC is obviously always a popular one, but
man.
I think that's you know, if there's anything to attest to, it's EDC in Vegas, and then next week when I'm out there, it's Memorial Weekend. So
so we go again, bro. But I'm sort of like, I'm going to go to the pools today, then I'm going to that Oscar Steakhouse. It's quite a famous one. I've never actually been to. So I'm meeting up with a few guys that work with like Marquee and Tower Group and stuff. So we're having a dinner, but it's like a business sort of dinner as well.
Yeah, like a network.
Lots of options. But so I'm looking forward to that. It's Oscar's Steakhouse at the Circa Hotel, which is down on like Fremont Street.
Nice,
So and that's, you know, we're talking about the history of Vegas being around for 120 years. That Oscar Steakhouse has been there for years as well. So it's going to be good, mate. Stay tuned on the Instagram story. I'll put
Yeah,
some stuff up.
100%, bro. Yeah, if you want to watch any of the footage and what Steve's been getting up to, watch his Instagram at StevieJUK. He usually puts it all in his highlights as well. So if you do miss it, you can go watch it down there.
Yeah, boy.
So is there any sort of wild stories you're able to tell us on the pod for our viewers that doesn't get you in too much trouble?
Oh, bro, I don't know, man. Like, not even just get the viewers in trouble, probably get me in trouble as well.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. It's like, put it this way, yeah. Just in a nutshell, just so people understand, like this is Vegas and anything goes. So the whole thing about what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, yeah. I sort of want to stay on that vibe, but maybe when we're back in England, I've got time to digest it all. Yeah. Obviously, there'll be a few gems that I can come out, but off the cuff, it's been like there's been so many different things that been going on that I wouldn't want to sort of like say anything too early because I end up dropping myself in it or other people in it, or it's just like there's other stories that I could say over others, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, nice way to tease our audience. Nice. I said a nice way to tease our audience to just
I tell you what, I post a lot of it. I post a lot of what comes out.
You do?
Up in Vegas UK page, and obviously on my personal one, so you can sort of get a gist of it from that.
You do.
But yeah, in a nutshell, there's been a lot of late nights, early mornings, like a lot of shenanigans that's been popping off. You know what I mean? As you can imagine.
Yeah, this is it.
And like I said, like we've had groups from Newcastle, Manchester, Leeds. We looked after a lot of footballers. I mean, I feel like people, like girls from Newcastle, for example, we looked after a group of 24 there, and they were like the best group, the most like laid back, the most fun. They just got on with it and all just cracked on, and it's just been a great bunch of clients and groups we've looked after this year so far, and we've all all individually got our own stories, and I'm sure we'll get them on the pod, bro, when we get back. So
100%. We want
rather than me coming and like telling half the story, hopefully we'll bring them on and they can tell the full story. Do you get what I mean?
100%. We love all this positive energy, and we love the fact that our clients are all having such a great time and getting the good service from us, and they can, like I say, have all these stories to come back with. So that's the entire reason why we had this pod in the first place, that you guys can, share your stories and your moments, and you can explain to all the other viewers out there to say, look, if you're going, this is the type of experience you can have, and this is what VIP Vegas is all about. So
that's it. I tell you what, just so it doesn't feel like I've copped out, I'll give you one story.
Here we go.
This was so funny, right?
You're lucky, guys.
We've gone. We was at AU Day Club, So a lot of the guys, we got on the bungalow. We upgraded it right by James Hype, the DJ.
Yeah.
He was DJing. So I went and joined them guys after Towel Beach, and then so we was drinking, was doing shots, stuff like that. Me being me, I've decided to get all the guys behind the DJ box. I was like, I had to like divide the group up into two, because obviously I couldn't take all like 15 of them in one go. So I divided it up. I took 7. We walked past the security. We was there. It was all large in it. Obviously, you can see all that from our. If you go on the May folder on social media, you can see it all. So I brought them up there. We carried on drinking behind the decks and stuff. Like they got to experience what it was like being backstage, which was great for them. Just so that's a story they could tell, because not a lot of groups get to go behind the decks. You know what I mean? Or like with the DJ,
because of the minimum spend, and it's very exclusive.
So I was thinking, and so then we've gone back, and then I looked at the schedule for Hakkasan, because they were booked at Hakkasan on Saturday. I think it was last Saturday. And then I had another.
It's coming back to me now. Yeah.
Then I had another 2 groups, but the book wasn't looking that busy. So what I did was I said to them, look, guys, I think Omnia is going to be the one tonight. So I've moved all the groups from Hakkasan to Omnia, right? Because it was reservation after reservation.
What a class.
Anyway, I didn't think the boys were going to make it, right? So I've turned up. I think it was like 11 or half 11. they're all there, but they're deflated, bro. They're like, they just like, oh my god, how are we going to get through a 6K minimum spend? I think it's a 5K minimum spend actually.
Yeah.
So like, and you know, and then I had another group from Birmingham. Yeah, and they were absolute legends. There's only 3 of them, and this is where the story's evolving into the 3 guys from Birmingham. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we got to Omnia. They were all flagging. I was like, come on, lads, you're in Vegas. Like, one more night, because it was their last booking with us. So I hyped them up. We walked in, did the massive display, like the stag on the big drapes as they come in, all the waitresses there with the sparklers, the drummer, all of that shit, yeah. So I got them prime dance floor for a 5K minimum spend, main room, right? So I stayed with them for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I made sure they're set and everything else. Then I went outside to get the guys from Birmingham. They were even more deflated than the bigger group. They couldn't even really talk. They were like, "Oh, Steve, like, I don't know if we can do this, mate." I was like, "Come on, I've got you the best location on the terrace, yeah." So I was trying to like build them up a little bit and that. So walked up to the terrace, got them the prime like center terrace table. Yeah, they were still deflated. Right, put the first order in. Anyway, cut a long story short, after sort of like 20 minutes, they perked up a little bit. Yeah. The guy that was absolutely written off at one point, yeah, he sort of had a new lease of life, yeah, and he's just going for it, bro, yeah, out of nowhere. He's brought these 2 birds over, but these girls were absolute, like, they were massive, yeah.
Oh, okay, wow.
Thinking, are you sure you want to bring them over? I've got nothing against big girls, by the way. It is what it is. This is America, do you know what I mean? It is, you know what I mean? So, anyway, he's brought these birds over, yeah, like big girls, and next thing you know, I've looked around and he's like grabbed her by the head, yeah, and they're just tonguing each other. And then like I was thinking that me and the other 2 geezers from Birmingham looking at each other like, nah, is this for real? Like he was like down and out about half hour ago, and now he's tonguing this like bird. And then like literally we were like thinking, hang about, is he gonna come up for some air? And I swear down, Brunty, the guy was like with her lips, you know, like that solid for probably about 40 minutes. Like, it was just like, I was just like, what is going on? Yeah. And yeah, man. So like that, and then obviously I don't know what happened the rest of the night because I ended up leaving them boys. Like, absolutely, that was like the highlight for me because it was just like, amazing, I actually got some footage of it, but I don't want to drop them in it.
Of course, yeah. No, but I love the fact that this is the sort of things that we can do. Do you know what I mean? That Hakkasan was, you know, not the vibe that night. It was a bit dead, and you were like, boys, let's bounce over.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing. Like, people don't realise. Like, obviously, we've got our finger on the pulse. Like, we've got our eye on the prize. Like, if we know you're not going to have a good time in a certain location, we are able to switch things like last minute, and that's like for like and free of charge. So that's what I did, and I think them guys, they really appreciated that because it was 1 in 1 out in Omnia, and it was an absolute field of people. It was so busy in there, bro. Yeah.
Wow.
But I knew that if they went Hakkasan, they wouldn't have enjoyed it, and they definitely, because obviously by the time I finished at the terrace, I went back down to join them, and they were all loving life. Yeah, and they were just bottle shows coming over. They brought the Barbie presentation that come out with the 2 waitresses in the actual like Barbie case. It was fucking sick, bro. Yeah, and so like that was just an example of, you know, where people do the double booking like the day and night, and then, you know, you sort of G them up for it, and then they end up having an unbelievable night.
100%. And I mean, this is what you guys get when you listen to a podcast like this. I was thinking about this actually, funnily enough, when I was in the gym. That even though there's some of this stuff you can Google, you are effectively listening to our expertise. And when you do pay for a service like ours, you do get that knowledge, experience, that expertise. We're able to make these types of moves. And I was on the treadmill re-listening to a Vegas video that I'd already listened to about a year ago because I could see my life comment on it.
Yeah.
But I'd realised sometimes you're on the phone and you think, oh, I'll Google this, and you don't Google it because there's distractions, there's social media, this, that, and the other. Yeah. When I was on that treadmill listening to a Vegas video, because I'd listened to one of our podcasts, and then I was like, oh, let me double check this piece of information. I retained that a hell of a lot quicker and faster because I had to focus in on what my ears are doing. So I hope that gives people a little bit more insight that the podcast and its value and what we do as a service.
Yeah.
That, you know, you can either watch us like this, you can listen to it when you're in the car, on the treadmill, whatever, and at least you're able to get that information. And Steve just proved it right there. We are the real deal, and we can make these types of moves, and we can make sure you have a really good night, not just give you the set plan and leave you to it. So
yeah, that's it, man. Because I mean, you know, like we're saying about online and stuff, yeah, it's all there. Obviously, the prices are a bit inflated online and stuff, but you don't get the ear to the ground to where it's going to be good that particular night or day. And obviously, it's in our interest to make sure you have the best time possible, because then you go back home, you tell your friends, you tell your family, and you're like, well, they didn't just leave us to it. Like, they made sure they orchestrated our lineup as best they could. And that's what I did. And, you know, I think that's probably why that we've got these Google reviews coming through now from different clients, because, you know, I tried, and the team, you know, to go above and beyond. And it's very... Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things. It's like like we said before, it's like a once in a lifetime trip, and it's in our interest to make sure we deliver on that, and you do have the best trip possible, and you can remember it for the rest of your life. So
exactly, mate.
That's it, man.
So I am literally about 6 days away from coming to join you, and it just proves that we can do it from, like I said, either end of the phone. I'm currently in the UK right now. Steve's living it up large in Vegas, and bless him, he's extended his trip to make sure that we can get everything that we needed done when we're out there with our pods and our business. Literally not long
it's been good, mate. I mean, I'll tell you what, be prepared though, because it is so hot out here, geez. It is getting hot. Like, during the day, you feel like you're melting. You're walking down the street and your flip-flops are starting to stick to the ground in that way. It's so hot, man. But you know, it's lovely. Maybe we'll have to go down to O'Shea's and get a few of those frozen Baileys first.
Oh, 100%, bro.
To cool off. Mate, they're so nice. Honestly, I'd love to... I might even actually buy one of them for my house, you know, like the actual Bailey machine. Yeah, I sound like a bit of an alky now, but they're so nice, man, especially to have throughout the summer, you know what I mean?
This is an important point, actually, to touch on, the fact that we do display, obviously, that it's very party-esque, what VIP Vegas does, but it's that flipping between having that energy, like you say, for our clients, people that might be a bit deflated by double booking, whatever. We've got to really back up and put that performance in. And then we can jump into, like I say, a business call or a networking dinner as you're about to go to, or a podcast. And we can have that professional / young energy life. And this is how it goes.
I tell you what, though, don't get it twisted. I don't think I've been like this since I've arrived. There's been days where I've just been absolutely ruined, and I've just not even been able to talk or speak to no one. So I don't really know how. I'm still going, and I'm still fairly coherent, and you know what I mean, speaking with you, Brunty. But I mean, yeah, it's just part and parcel of the game. But as long as I get my downtime, as long as I get my sleep, which is the most important thing, and obviously hydration, then I can sort of dust myself off and keep going, man. Same with the rest of the guys. So so yeah, bro, I think that's probably a good place to wrap up. We've been going for 40 minutes.
Yeah, bro, I was just about to say.
Buzzing for you to get over here, bro. Because
brother.
I might need to hand the baton over to you a little bit. Because yeah, it's been it's been an absolute journey so far, but I've enjoyed it, and as I do every year, to be fair. So yeah, mate.
Yeah, so of course, anybody that wants to book a package with us, if you haven't, heard already for the last 40 minutes of what we can do and things we can provide for you. If you want to book a package with us, make sure that there's a 10% off if you have Vegas Pod 10. Put that either in your inquiry form or when you send us a DM as a nice little present for you guys as podcast listeners.
Yeah,
Steve is still going to be living it up in large in Vegas, and then when I arrive, it's going to be absolute carnage.
Got my foot up on the gas for somebody trying to do it. You know that, bro. Wait, that Kendrick Lamar tune's been ringing off, bro. I'm telling you.
Has it?
My foot up on the gas for somebody got to do it. Trust me.
Bro, love it. But yeah, just to finish up, do you want to just tell people on what you're up to for the rest of the day, what to look out for on the stories, and then
so
we'll sign
today
off.
I've got to go Palm Tree Beach Club. We've got a big group of girls from, I think they're from Essex actually, but they're a bit older girls, and I had a ring through from Palm Tree saying, "Oh mate, these girls are so like nice. Like we've got them upgraded to a dance floor. Like it's so busy down there today. I think they got like I think we booked them in at a 2.5k minimum spend. Everywhere online is like 3.5k just for a day bed. So we've got them a big dance floor area for 2.5k, man. Saved them £1,000. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go and see them. Then I'm going to Oscars tonight. Tomorrow we've got Tower Beach, Daylight Beach Club. We've got a few other groups, AU and Encore. So we're going to do that. I've got my little schedule here, Brunty. I sort of write it out.
Yeah,
so
bro,
I've got it in front of me. And then we've got Marquee and stuff, some other mad stuff going on tomorrow night. And then Sunday, I'm hoping to get to EDC, be on the Sky Deck. We've got some big clients like booked like 30, 40k minimum spends on the Sky Deck, man, for EDC.
Love that.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm still going to be in the game. I'll be able to jump in one of them helicopters and go and experience it. It's not actually my type of music, to be honest. I can only handle electronic dance in small doses.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I'm just like I'm sort of 50-50. But if you know, I might just go for like a few hours or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Like I say, it's a part of the game, and I mean for everything leading up. I mean for what I've got tomorrow, I still need to just finish up on a media pack, and then we've got also our VIP Vegas t-shirts. It's done, brother. Trust. When I bring them over, I think you'll be very, very pleased.
I hope so, bro. Please, man. Yeah, because that'll be class, especially when we're on the strip and we're in the Cosmo wraparound suite and stuff, and doing them other pods. Also, like I said to you before, shout out to Faris. He was saying it about coming out and possibly he does a lot of stuff in Ibiza and Marbella and Dubai and whatever else. So he might come and join the team, help us interview some people on the strip. So yeah, man, it's all go. It's just finding the right deal and getting it over the line, and just and so that goes to anyone really. If there's anyone out there with hosting experience, anyone out there that's comfortable interviewing people, reach out to me and Brunty. Yeah, mate, because obviously we always need more hands on deck and people to help us grow and move forward with what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah. We've got a big vision, we've got big ideas, and we need
not just Vegas, but also with Dubai as well. And obviously
Dubai,
in October, I'm relocating there, so we're going to need more hands on the ground over in Dubai, and also like I said with Marbella and Ibiza as well. All the clubbing destinations, boy. That's what we're looking to do. I've got another meeting as well with some investors that want to come in and help us with the app stuff and developing the global app. So all that's to come, mate. All that is to come.
There you go. See, you're getting all these exclusives here, podcast.
Yeah, we're giving away too much now, Jim.
That's it. We'll end it there. But thank you everybody for listening to the VIP Vegas podcast. And I'll be seeing you.
Sorry if I've chewed off your jaws for too long, guys, but you can see how passionate I am about the business and that, because it's just, this is what it's about, man. And, I feel proper, like, content, and this is, what I should be doing with myself, and, it's all good. But yeah, I'll see you in a few days, Big Bruntos.
Indeed. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Take care.
Don't forget the bottles of Hennessy, yeah?
100%.
I think that's the first thing you pack in your luggage.
I'll be getting it in duty free, bro. All right then. Right. See you guys.
Adios, amigos. One love.